So here we are in April. It is actually pretty late into the day, nearly 7 at night. I have been watching the close price like a hawk. You can see we have a good 6,000 liters in our storage, all ready to be sold, and several pallets out there. In addition to that, look at this buying price. $18,236 is crazy. I saw the top price was right around $18,000, so we are well above it right now. I was just watching it go up and up and up, and then once it kind of slowed down, stopped moving, I slowed down time. So the only other thing we have to do in April here is get that one new field, the spike, get it fertilized, get it limed. There's only a select part of it that needs either of those things, so what I can do here is pick up our new spreader here. It does do lime, which is very, very nice. I am just going to get this with some lime in it. It has fertilizer right now, but we can just drop that out. That's no big deal. And what's snazzy is I can actually do both liming and fertilizing at the same time. So that is what I'm going to do. First things first, though. I mean, come on, man. We got to get this sold. We got to get this sold. So I will set this to selling just so it'll sell what's left in here. Not quite able to put that on pallets right now, so we will just sell what's left in there. In addition, got the Massey Ferguson here with the handy dandy trailer. We probably could have used the other one, but this one will work fine. Just need to take this on out to Grocery Mart. So in terms of pallets, we have just under 18,000 liters. Oh boy, this is going to be a lot of money. I hope you are ready for it, because I know I am. What we can do here is actually just drop off. Oh man, that's a lot of fertilizer. I think I have a decent amount of lime still in here, and then I can always just fill up more at the fill-up station over there if need be. We have some random lime pallets just from past times where I filled up a little too much. So we got a decent amount here. I'll get this filled up, and then I will go grab the small fertilizer spreader, and we'll get that field covered. I think this should be more than enough lime. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm underestimating how much we need. This field really doesn't need too much. It needs this part limed as well as fertilized. You can see the part that needs to be limed actually is the spike, which is why we named it this. So yeah, just a little bit to do. Pretty much just right around the edge. Pretty much a headland pass, and then right down the middle, and that'll be good. Now just switching gears again, because we are here and the big sale is about to happen. A lot of money got sunk into this, upgrading the spinnery, upgrading the clothes shop, getting some harvesting equipment in that cotton harvester. That was just a lease, but you know, a lot of expenses to make this happen, and this isn't even going to be our biggest sale. Once we have a full year of that spinnery and clothes shop dealing with those new upgrades, the gain should be way bigger. But enough talk, let's get this sold. A reminder, it's $237. It looks like it went up another $1. Oh, here we go. Big sale time. Oh my, look at that money. Oh, $327,000. So not quite our silage, which was what, like 800,000 or something stupid like that. But for just a few months processing all of that cotton, that is really, really nice. And just as a reminder, that's all of the wool from these guys. And then we got cotton from the spike and 70 right here. Obviously, it wasn't the spike at that point, so it was a little bit lower yield. But yeah, it was cotton from here, and then from our home fields. Honestly, with how much cotton we can produce, it's probably going to be worth it to reinvest some of this money into upgrading those facilities even more, make it so they can churn through that all faster. And the funny thing is, I could actually do with more sheep, because they are not filling it up. The spinnery, it is churning through it faster than they are producing. But yeah, a solid $327,000 from that closed sale, and should be a little bit more once that processes. I mean, I guess I can just speed up time. It'll process at 1900 hours, aka 7 p.m. Once it turns over, it'll process. Okay, got a decent chunk from that too. So what was that, like a good like $80,000 at least? So on the day, all of our closed sales, it was $434,000. pretty nice. That is some solid sales. We're gonna be reinvesting a lot of that money back into the spinnery, back into the tailor shop, just so we can crunch through even more, and next year's sale should be significantly bigger because it is going to be a full year of those upgrades, and then additionally whatever, you know, other upgrades we make. So we can go take care of that fertilizing, that liming. I'll just get the Massey Ferguson parked real quick. Was just too excited to go get that sold first. Been looking forward to that all year, man. So as I said, we're just filling this guy up with lime. I don't know how much we're gonna need, but we might as well just fill it up with like all of these pallets. Wish it filled up a bit quicker. That is one thing I love about those fill points, is that you can just, you know, pull up, fill it all the way up, and get out of there. But here I have to like wait for each pallet to drain and then click the refill button again. Gets a little old. With the fill points especially, it's nice because like I can either go do something else, like I can go to a different tractor and do something while it fills up, or even better is if you get the AI to drive over there just with auto drive, they can fill up automatically. So it's really nice. You know, I can set this guy to lime a field. I can hire a farmhand to lime the field, and when he empties out the tank here, he will automatically drive over to the fill point and fill it back up and then get back to work. It's very, very handy. That's probably something I'm going to do with seed and fertilizer as well. Neither of those buy points exist on Elm Creek to my knowledge. It's just the lime one over there. I will probably just end up building my own fill points, you know, somewhere around the farm here. Yeah, 16,000 liters is super overkill for lime, I think. You know, we might as well fill it up with everything we got, and it's really quick to empty should we need to. So I believe, I haven't tested this, but I believe you can hook this up to the front as well. It just needs the like 3-point that you have on the front and back on a tractor. There we go. Okay, this should probably look a little goofy. I mean, it does look very goofy. Essentially what we're going to be doing is spraying solid fertilizer on the front and then lime in the back. Pretty funny looking little device we got here, but it's very efficient for what it's doing. Now, we obviously aren't going to need to lime that much year to year, but with all these new fields that we've been making, it hasn't been too bad of an idea to have this lime spreader here, the new one we got back there. And it is just way better at fertilizing than this little guy, just because, you know, it has like quadruple the capacity, and that alone is really, really nice. So just not going to take very long. It's just a few passes there on the old spack, the old spackaroo. We can drive through and kind of look at our fields here. These are all planted with oat, as you can see. Just hop out, take a look. Yeah, oat's growing, 95% yield bonus. Could be higher if we rolled, but I just have not wanted to do that. I don't like adding all the extra miles onto the tractors, which, speaking of which, some of our tractors are getting just an insane amount of work hours on them. I mean, the Dutes far down there, what is that, 91 hours work hours is crazy for a tractor. I should probably get around to replacing these sometime. Also, I don't know if I can drive across this right now. This is probably a bad idea. I just wanted to look at our fields, man. It's okay, I'll drive around. But as I was saying, I should probably get around to replacing these tractors at some point. I do like our stable of tractors, but they are getting a little old. They're needing a lot of maintenance, and that's not something that I want to be paying for. Now, it's not that crazy, the upkeep and everything, but it does get a little annoying doing all the repairs on them because they break down really quickly with 91 hours work time. I assume the tank tractor has even more because I bought that thing used 9 years ago and I've been using it just solid this entire time. In terms of next fields, might be looking at old Leroy's field over here next year once we have just a bit more money to spend. I could have bought it this year, honestly, go into a little more debt, but I like getting it in kind of bite-sized chunks, especially as we kind of ramp up our equipment. We already got 3 of the biggest fields on all of Elm Creek in 1 year with this and then what became the spike over here. So I think adding Leroy's field over there, 71, probably would have been a little overkill. I'm finding myself needing a lot more equipment these days. I kind of coasted on the same setup for quite a while in terms of like the harvester, the mower, the 3 tractors. We hadn't added any new equipment in a really long time. Now, Now, these crops are still small enough where I can do this and it's totally fine. It's gonna be a little tricky. I think I just need to take a full tour around and then just cover this spike, and then obviously get this right down the middle. In fact, maybe I'll just start with that right down the middle. I don't know what the width needed here is, but we'll get lined up first. It should be like right here, I think. Yep, just to make sure we get it all covered. If I miss a little chunk here and there, that's all right. I mean, it's not that big of a penalty in terms of like if just part of your field is not covered. And I think I can probably reduce the work width here at least a little bit. Yeah, I'm definitely wasting product here, but that's all right. Look at this machine here. Ooh, we are moving a bit slow. I don't know actually if that's that slow. I think they generally go about this speed. Yeah, never mind. They work at 11 miles per hour. Would be nice if they could work a bit faster. Maybe that's something I will look for in the future just to increase that a little bit. But yeah, it's just this, getting this little area right here. And I actually don't know how much we need to run the fertilizer. We needed it for this part, and it definitely makes it convenient because I only have to come out here one time. But I think we can probably turn the fertilizer off, especially for the spike portion over there and just the entire headland pass. It obviously just lines up right where this road was, and that should do it for that little strip. I think I missed just a tiny little bit down there, but I'll get it on the as we drive fully around here. I'm just checking here. I don't think we're missing too much fertilizer, honestly. Just like a little bit here and there. I don't even know if I need to run it. I might just run the lime. And even that, I can probably reduce the work width even more. I mean, honestly, I could just make sure we get it covered with the fertilizer spreader there too. We might as well. We're going around the whole thing this way, man. The fertilizing liming machine. I think in real life, farmers, you can kind of put on both at the same time. You can put your liquid nitrogen just in with your lime. You wouldn't need to do this. This is a little bit ridiculous, but it's very funny. This is kind of been the year of just running multiple things with the same tractor at the same time, with our very failed attempt at running the forage wagon at the same time as mowing. That was very funny though, so I am okay with how that went. You can see the lime drains so much faster than the fertilizer does. One thing that is very annoying about liming is just how much is used, and it's not that cheap. It's cheaper than fertilizer, but if you look at the rate of consumption, I mean, it is crazy. One thing I've thought about introducing to the series is the precision farming DLC. I really haven't used it too much. I didn't even realize it was a free DLC. It's something I could definitely add to the series and just make sure that we can give it some use. I've never used it. One thing I didn't realize is that the end of Farming Sim 22 is actually coming soon. Or by end, I mean, it sounds like they're releasing Farming Sim 25 very soon. A lot sooner than I thought. I mean, I just picked up this game at like the beginning of this year, so I'm still pretty fresh to it, and it's my first Farming Sim game ever as well. This will be the first time that I'm like in the cycle where there's a new game coming out. In terms of this series, you know, I'm gonna try to see it through to the end, and when new stuff comes out, I will probably be creating a new series, either another Broke to Billionaire or just something, just to try out the new game, you know what I mean? And if I feel like it and you guys are still enjoying it, I will continue this run on Elm Creek in 22. I'm very open to keeping that going. But, you know, if everybody likes the new stuff, the new maps, and everything on Farming Sim 25, I'd be more than happy to start a new series on there, Broke to Billionaire or otherwise. I could try my best to resume where we're at in the new one, or even just start fully fresh. We'll just have to see. Ideally, we are able to get to $1 billion before that happens. I guess we'll just have to see how close we can get, you know? But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Like I said, I'm very fresh to this scene still, so I don't even really know what to expect, but either way, I'm excited and definitely planning on playing it and creating content for it, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. It'll be a fun thing to kind of go through together as a community. Obviously, I watch a lot of Farming Sim stuff too. There's a number of creators that I watch as well, so it'll be fun to do this as like a full group. Obviously, pretty small, still just starting out and everything like that, but it's been fun to be a part of everything. It's been an enjoyable process. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. Don't worry too much about this series. If we're having fun with it and I'm not done and the new stuff comes out, then we'll do it. But that brings me back to precision farming. Like I said, I have never actually used it. If there's a time to do it, it'd definitely be right now, because not sure how much longer Farming Sim 22 is going to be in the ecosystem, you know? Also, I am just realizing you can't lime after you plant and it's grown, huh? Not my smartest idea, but that's okay. I mean, it goes down from 95% to 80%, but just for this little section here. So that's too bad, but we still got some fertilizing done, so it wasn't a waste of time or anything like that. Besides, it was fun running both of these things, if not a little pointless. But we'll be back here in what? I want to say June. Okay, July. July is when we will be harvesting this oat. I can still drive across it until next month, and then I can't. Too bad about the lime, but that's all right. Still got some fertilizing done. It was a net win, even though we definitely wasted some lime there. Get this guy taken on back to the farm. I should be able to lime that in between planting. So what I can do is I can harvest that, lime it really quick, and then get the grass planted in July, which is next when we'll probably be doing stuff on the farm here. I don't have anything, I think, going on for the next few months in terms of our farm and everything here. I think it's really just waiting for everything to grow. Everything should be fully fertilized. Obviously, some lime is missing on the fields, but that's all right. You can see here, I mean, whatever, that lime situation can't be helped. Everything's fully fertilized, growing, no weeds or anything. Everything's growing, and we'll be ready to do an oat harvest in July, and I don't think the cotton is ready until later this year, like November or so. Yeah, cotton is October, so that is when we will be doing our next harvesting. It's going to be July and then October. So July is going to be a very busy one. That will be when we are doing our big oat harvest. So anytime we got that oat harvest, you know, it means a full harvest, a foraging session, and then immediately into planting. I might even consider getting another planter. Just with how these fields are looking, man, one planter is just not going to be enough. We obviously have the tractors to be running that kind of thing too. I'll be looking into it. It'd be nice to get a nice big setup for fun, just for mass planting grass. I'll see what I can do there. I like our planter, but maybe even something even bigger would be even more fun. With these big fields, man, I need to get some big equipment to take care of all of them. So yeah, that was April. That was a very fun little sale. We obviously have a lot of money in our pocket left over from that sale, so we'll need to think about what to do with it, but I think for now I'm probably just going to pay off that loan. But yeah, I will be seeing you guys for harvesting season. Oh, it is a beautiful day here at Elm Creek, 6:08 in the morning, July of year 9. We have a lot of fields of oat today to handle. We have the Spike, Oil Can, Sheep Alley, and Big Boy, all covered in oat, all ready to be harvested today. A lot to do, a lot to get started. So because we have so many fields to take care of here, I think I'm gonna need a little bit of help. But before anything else, I just want to get harvesting here. So I'm gonna get the Kloss started on one of the smaller fields. I think he's gonna be handling these two, and the mystery leased out Big Boy will be handling other stuff like Big Boy. Hired a farmhand to get harvesting. We're gonna be using a whole lot of those today, man. Gonna have the Massey Ferguson run this guy right here. He's gonna be offloading the good old Kloss today, which is a classic combo. The two of them have worked together quite a lot. One thing I find myself doing a lot is referring to the tractors as people. It's like they have minds of their own rather than hired hands in them, you know, controlling them. That's the way I think about it, at least. But yeah, he will be offloading the good old Kloss here, so I will just get him parked ready to roll. Now we only have the one trailer for offloading and obviously just the one harvester for harvesting, so we're gonna need to adjust both of those things. And by adjust, I mean spend some money, man. Just gonna be leasing for now, but if I like what I'm using, it might be a long-term purchase. By the way, if you were looking at the money situation, we do have $840,000 in our loan, $24,000 in my pocket. pocket. I did spend a bit of money. You're gonna see that back in May. It should be under construction costs. I actually decided to upgrade the bakery. Just while things were kind of zooming up, we filled up on the flour yet again. It gets backed up all the time because it just produces a lot faster than the bakery. So I got the bakery upgraded. It now really chunks through that bread a lot faster. I think oat is going to be a long-term crop for us, at least in some regard. Makes us a lot of money because we have a situation where we can make silage with the straw. But yeah, decided to throw a little bit of money at it from our closed sale to just kind of speed that along. But yeah, let's get leasing here, man. Gonna have to take out a little bit of money, but it's gonna be worth it. All right, here it is. Look at this beauty. It is the John Deere X9 1100. It is a pretty pricey one, coming in at nearly $600,000 for a harvester. Now, part of that price is that I do have a pretty hefty extension on the top for the grain there. It is 700 horsepower, so it's a very powerful harvester. But look at that capacity, 27,000 liters. It drives at 24 miles per hour, so it's pretty quick, and it can use some really big headers that have a pretty fast work speed. So I think this is going to be it. I'm going to get it leased out, get it a header, and send it on out. A pretty hefty lease. It's not going to be cheap if I do want to hold on to this, but it's going to be worth it, man. It's going to speed things up a lot. The Kloss harvester is just not going to be able to handle all these fields, so I think this is a very good investment. Alrighty, so got us that good old John Deere harvester. On top of that, I did also get a header here. It is a lizard one. It's not a John Deere, but I just wanted it to match, so I got the colors going. It is the what is the Lizard Titan Draper. So it is a very big header. It's about the same size as one of the bigger John Deere ones. However, this one works just a little bit faster, so I enjoy that quite a lot. Now, that grain tank on top is so big, but this should work out really well. Now, the nice thing about this header, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to use it, is it does just have a built-in header trailer. You can basically just like fold up those wheels, and it folds right into the header itself. So you can see we got a nice little operation here. What's funny about this harvester is I feel like it's not like that huge of a vehicle, but it has a ton of power, really high horsepower, some big wheels on the front as well, but it should work great for what we're doing here. Now, I'm just gonna put this guy right on Big Boy. Afterwards, I think I'm gonna get a trailer leased out. I do have some in mind for offloading this guy. I'll probably just have them run by the Fent. We might even have to consider borrowing or leasing out some tractors as well, because all these fields need to be foraged and planted as well. So it is not just harvesting today. So we got this here. What you can see here is we need to unfold this header. So it's pretty cool. The wheels kind of fold in, and then the header is just ready to go. You can also see the little hitch on the side where it hooked up to the back of the old Deere harvester here. Also folds in, so it is just ready to go. We do have to unfold this guy, which I like that the pipe also folds. I did decide to go for a slightly bigger pipe as well, because I just like that a bit more. But you can see, look at that. It is all ready to go. I'm just starting her up, so I will get this going. I definitely want to make sure we're dropping straw here. Okay, it does not appear to be enabled, so I need to figure that out. All right, I think that should do it right there. I gotta double check this. Straw is very, very important. It's like the whole reason I'm doing oat. So, okay, perfect. Look at that. I mean, you can see this thing is gonna make really quick work of this field. Even though it's a huge field, this is finally a harvester that is gonna be able to handle all this. And I really like how this thing looks, man. I mean, John Deere, their stuff is just like iconic with how it looks, and I think this is actually the first thing that I have used on my own fields from John Deere, which is very funny. We're on an American map and I've used almost entirely EU stuff. Just with how it all worked out, all that stuff was a bit cheaper, so excited to use the Deere. So got this guy going. Oh man, this is gonna be beautiful. It's gonna take a long time to fill this boy up, but it also works really quick. Has a big old work width. I love this thing. This is a fantastic harvester. Now I'm gonna let him work. I'm gonna worry about how we're gonna offload this guy too. So what's nice about these trailers is that they have a really big capacity, but they also can be hooked up so there's like multiple of them. I think maybe I'll just start with one. We'll lease it out. I've never used one of these before, so I do want to give it a whirl before I, fully commit. So we'll just lease it out. It's only about $1,000 to lease out, and I think I'll just run it with the Fent. But if I feel like it, I could get a couple of these and hook them up together. Kind of wish I had chosen a different color for the cover, but whatever. It's going to be off a lot of the day anyways. So I said this was going to take a long time to fill up, and look at that. It is nearly full already. I guess when you have a field this big, it is just bound to fill up instantly, man. So I'll let these two work, and it's probably going to be a good idea to go ahead and get the foraging started as well. Now, speak of the devil, this guy is already extending this out. I got to make sure that I have this set up quite right. That's the one downside of all these new harvesters. You just gotta make sure that you have the like offload distance correct. But man, they filled up that massive grain tank so quick. I mean, this thing is holding what, 26,000 liters? That's a lot of grain, man. So while things get offloaded there, I'm just gonna go over here, get this grabbed, and get foraging. Might seem weird, but I think I might just grab the little forage wagon there with the tank tractor, get him started over here. I am probably going to swap some tractors out once we get planting started. I'm probably gonna have the Fent on whatever our biggest planter is going to be. Obviously that's our own planter right now, but that might change a little bit later. We shall see. So with the tank tractor handling the little forage wagon, that means I'm gonna put the Dutzfar on the bigger one. Moves a little bit quicker for offloading it. Should make the day just go a little bit faster. You can see the tank tractor's already getting started there. So that is very, very nice. The only downside of that smaller forage wagon is it does not hold any silage additive like this guy does. It's not like that huge of a deal, but it would be nice to get another one of these forage wagons, or maybe just use a forage harvester or something in the future. Pretty nice little operation we got going on right now. For this field, we got the Massey Ferguson offloading the Kloss harvester. We got the tank tractor with the forage wagon going for it over there. On the big boy field, we got the leased out harvester doing his thing. We got the Dutzfar foraging, and we got the new Fent. He is offloading the big old harvester. Quite the operation today, even with that random little straw patch we got right there. Whoopsies. Gonna be a busy one as soon as these fields are harvested and can be planted. We're gonna be planting as well. Planting some grass and getting our rotation of crops covered. The other thing I gotta remember to do next month is I gotta fertilize these fields, man. I think it does affect how quickly that grass grows, because last year we didn't get to harvest them until the spring, which didn't make a lot of sense to me, but we'll figure it out. We'll give it a little testaroo. See what works, see what doesn't. All I know is all these vehicles working is the kind of thing I envisioned when I started the series. Just wanted to see all of these different fields and all these different operations going at the same time to get all these harvests done, get us some money. So yeah, this is what it's all about, man. I really like this. This is farming, baby. This is farming. So with this field getting a little more harvested, I decided to do a little bit of a tractor shift change. I have some plans for a planter that I'm gonna want to use with the Fent, so we need it off of offloading that guy. We did just finish up a good old sheep alley here, and we're just finishing up foraging it as well. We're making great progress there. So that is the very beginning of where we can start planting. We could actually get planting immediately on this. It's probably a good idea to get that started sooner than later. With everything we have to do today, we definitely want to get that started ASAP. And with that in mind, I'm probably just going to go ahead and get started on planting this guy right here. No reason to wait. We got the tank tractor right here, and I can always get another tractor on foraging here. This nice fast JCB that I just put on offloading this harvester here is actually a little loaner from our good old friend Leroy. You know it. I went ahead and just slammed a contract from Leroy to process in the background around here, and he had 3 different tractors, which is complete overkill for his field, but I'm just taking the contract and using some of his vehicles elsewhere in the meantime. Gonna get this forage wagon all emptied out of its straw, then probably just put the tank tractor right on planting. While it definitely has some issues running that planter, I can put the AI on it. They're a little bit better at it than I am. Once I do that, I can focus on getting another planter. I wanted to try out another planting setup today, and I figured it was a good day to do it. I think just a single planter working on all these different fields is a little bit ridiculous, so I'm gonna lease one out. It's a fun little setup I've been meaning to try one of these days, and it felt like a good day to do it. But first things first, we are going to be running this other planter today, so I will get that started right away, getting that grass in the ground. Just now getting the good old big boy field finished all up. It was a pretty quick little harvest. It didn't take too long. This harvester made it a breeze. This was a great decision to get this thing leased out for the day, give it a whirl. Might have to become a long-term staple. We shall see. I did enjoy using it quite a lot, and we're not even done yet. I am going to take this down to the spike since it is also ready to harvest today. Obviously the spike's nearly as big as big boy acreage wise, so gonna need a big old harvester yet again for that. Speaking of which, we are officially done, so get this all emptied out right here real quick. Just got a skosh in it. We have a couple tractors out here working on foraging, so it is actually nearly done, so we can get planting started very soon on it. Quite handy. This can fold all up like that. Straw can fold in so it doesn't stick out quite as much, and obviously this header having its own trailer is just awesome. I love how little wheels pop out. Oh yeah, look at that. What an operation. So yeah, I will get this down to the good old spike, get that harvest started. Pretty big start to the oat harvest here. I don't even know if we're gonna have enough space here. Anything extra I can just send on down to one of the community grain silos, and we can just drop it off there. Now what are these two doing? Oh man, AI always wanting to fight, man. With this big of a harvester, it seems like it would be pretty annoying to get it across the map, but it actually drives pretty well. Everything folds up nice and small. Obviously with a header trailer built into the header itself, makes for a nice quick little operation driving this thing around. We have arrived here, so I will get this header hooked on up. We gotta turn this stuff into bread, man. With foraging just getting wrapped up there on the big boy, maybe like 1 or 2 passes left is all. We can get started on a very exciting planting operation. I've been really excited about running one of these, and now that we have a much higher horsepower tractor, it actually makes it a lot more viable. I am of course talking about some nice air cart operations. I've wanted to do some of these, but just haven't had the reason to. Now they just do the grains and grass, but considering we're planting grass, this is actually perfect. Now the main benefit of using these air carts is they have a really big work width, they can direct drill, they can fertilize while planting, everything that the other planter can do, but the main difference is, ooh, that capacity is just insane. It holds 33,000 liters of seed and fertilizer, so it might be a little expensive, but I do want to give it a whirl, and it's going to speed up planting quite a lot today. It's going to be a little spendy to lease out, but I mean, come on, man, this thing just looks so cool. I gotta give it a whirl. So I will get this leased out with its associated air cart and get planting. Oh yeah, look at these two guys over here. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. This does require 500 horsepower. It's very, very heavy, but the Fent Vario here should be able to handle it just fine, assuming I can actually hook everything up here. Oh man, look at this operation. This is just ridiculous, but it is awesome. I was driving this thing around blindly for a while before realizing that it had a little pipe that extended out to fill it up. It actually makes a lot of sense considering how big this thing is. So I will get manually moving stuff over here, man. Yeah, just like that, filling it up. This might take slightly longer than anticipated. You can see this thing would work a lot better with like a fill station, which honestly I should just have by now, but you know, oh well. We'll do these things the old-fashioned way, man. I like how the fertilizer kind of spits out on the side. That's pretty funny. If you can avoid filling this thing up by hand, definitely use a fill point, because yeah, this is getting a little old, but we're getting her filled up. I got 6,000 liters of seed and solid fertilizer. I don't know if that'll be enough, but I'm gonna get this boy driven out and get it started, man. I am excited to see this thing at work. And while I was doing that, you know what? The good old Claas harvester here, he finished his job. Good work, buckaroo. Good work. Oil can and sheep alley are done for the day. Well, once we get it planted, at least. You can see this guy right over here already planted, looking beautiful. Now look at this big boy go. Oh man, this is beautiful. And the funny thing is, this is actually on the smaller end for some of the air cart setups, and we're still draining a solid amount of that fertilizer and that grass, but it is doing a fantastic job. I love the way these look too. I love the giant air cart back there, just with the massive amount of fertilizer and seeds. The funny thing is, this one has a slightly bigger working width than our other planter, but the capacity, I mean, not having to fill up the planter like 3 or 4 times is so huge. Our regular planter over here, and as you can see, this one works at about 14 miles per hour, whereas the big air cart works at about 11. Obviously, that's not like the highest end air cart that we can get. We can get ones that are just like a little bit faster, a little bit bigger working with, maybe require a little more horsepower or something like that, but they're looking pretty good. I am very excited to be using it. I just love the way this thing looks, man. It's some heavy duty farming. With how this plant is going, this should just take a couple more passes here, and then we can get this down to the spike. That should be it for the remainder of the day. Oh, the one thing I gotta remember to do before I plant it is I gotta lime the spike too, at least part of it. The little parts that need the lime, I need to make sure to do that. But yeah, solid little planting, harvesting, everything day, man. Was down here offloading some of this oat, and I totally forgot there is like an upper limit on these silos, so I think I need to just bite the bullet, get the grain mill a little more upgraded, so I'm just gonna do that now. So yeah, we're here at the grain mill. Look at that upgrade, just to level 2 for $105,000. Bam, upgraded. Should now have more than enough room for everything I need to put into it, at least for the next few harvests or so. Shall see once we continue the massive expansion of all of our products, if that continues. We're very nearly done with the harvest itself here. We got some foraging going on at the same time, and we need to get planting here. Speaking of lime, I didn't expect this, but the entirety of the spike here does need to be limed, so I got that ahead of me as well. For whatever reason, the field 50 section needs to be limed. I'll probably just end up liming this whole thing just to get it covered, whatever. So yeah, getting our lime on out here. Look at that. With this field fully covered, we are very much done using this harvester for the day. I do like it quite a lot. I'm not sure if I want to pay it all off right now, so I might just treat it as a one-day lease, but this will definitely be on my list for using again in the future. So I think I will get this all turned in, but good times using this harvester, man. It was so fast. I really like it. One thing about using this air cart is it has made me realize I need to get a refill point, man. I have just gotten so sick of using these bags, and it just doesn't make any sense at all for using something like this. So I might just get one of those put down real quick. Here at our home cotton fields, we do have this nice little lime fill up, and I was thinking about just putting another one for more for like seeds and fertilizer and all that. Pretty close to this. Do have some pretty, you know, generic looking fill up points. I'll probably just plop one down around here somewhere. I think I'm just gonna put it down right here. So what it does is it just lets you fill up on fertilizer, seeds, all sorts of good stuff. So yeah, we'll place that down and look at that. 15,000, but I think it's going to be well spent in the long term, and we'll kind of just make this little like refill area. So I will get the first hopper filled up. I'll have to see if I need to pour it into like the straw here, or if I can just dump it directly in there. I'm also open to putting more of these like fill-up stations around the map. I realize I could have done that a little more cleanly, but we got there. Now, am I able to fill that up? Yes, I am. Look at that. Yeah, moving this thing around in this tight of a space probably wasn't my greatest idea, but at the same time, I don't know if farmers would really do this so much, like pull it up to one of these little silos here with the straw out. They would have it in a much easier location, which maybe that was my bad, but this thing was only $15,000. You buy the product. Because you buy it in bulk, you get it a little bit cheaper. So overall, it's a pretty good deal. I just wasn't really thinking with this big of a rig how difficult it would be to even get here. I just had a much better idea. I'm just gonna take one of our tipper trailers, and I realized I can just dump that right into the straw. That's probably what I should have just done from the get-go. I'm still happy with putting one of those down regardless. It's something I've needed to do for a while. Just getting a little sick of buying the bags all the time. So I will get this rig on down to the big spike and bring a little fertilizer to it instead of vice versa. Brought over the Massey Ferguson to the new fill-up station here. I'm gonna try this boy out. We have a little bit of solid fertilizer in there, but I wanted to get a bit more. Pretty sure it fills up very quick. Look at that. I don't know if we're gonna need much more than that, so I'll call it good with that. But ooh man, that thing works good. It does do lime as well, which I did not realize, so it is technically better than the one right here, especially because the speed of filling up is just crazy. Off in the distance, some good old liming happening. I got the air cart here, and I got the Massey Ferguson with that fertilizer in there. I'll go ahead and just set up the air cart with the straw out to the fertilizer tank. You can walk up here. You can see we got a section of the tank for all the seed, and then a section for all the fertilizer. Pretty cool little setup here. We'll get the Massey Ferguson backed up here so we can offload this stuff right into the straw. Yeah, look at that. Overloading, so we can pour it on in. It's just pouring right into the good old fertilizer tank there. So we can come on back and look at that. About 13,000 liters of fertilizer now in there, as well as the 13,000 liters of seeds. Get her folded up, get those tanks closed, and this puppy's ready to go. This could plant multiple big fields with that much seed and fertilizer. It's a pretty nifty little setup. I think I will definitely be investing in one of these years. Probably not this year. I think we'll just lease this one out for now. These air carts are awesome though, I gotta admit. For the month, it's just finishing up this lime and then planting this field. I appreciate everybody watching the video. If you liked it, please go ahead and hit the like button. It helps me out a whole lot. If you aren't subscribed, please do so. Many more videos to come, baby. I'll see y'all in the next one. See ya.